Hello everyone, I'm Milo and welcome to my town. And today I wanted to have a bit of a discussion. So if you've seen some of the videos in my channel, you know that I am a big fan of the Yakuza or Like a Dragon series. I began playing it in 2020 with Yakuza 0, and when I played that one I went for 100% and I just really enjoyed it and it clicked right with me. So then and there I took an oath to not only just play the rest of the games of the series, but to 100% complete them. And that's what I've been doing for the past 5 years or so, with a few breaks in between. And I don't just go for all the achievements, because especially on the more newer titles, the achievements don't quite cover everything that there is in the games. I go for everything that can be tracked, and even if it's optional stuff for that. So I am really passionate about games. On top of that, specifically Yakuza 3 happens to be my favorite game in the franchise. Well, I actually haven't played 8 and everything that goes after that, and neither the Judgment ones. Yakuza 3 really resonated with me, and it's interesting because it's one of the ones that people tend to like the least. But for me, it's actually my favorite, and not only do I love it a lot, but also I spent a good amount of time just doing stuff on it, and I made even a video and a guide on how to complete the Haruka's requests in that game. It's one of the videos that I've been the proudest of working on, and I've had a good reception of it. People have told me that that it was really a good video and that I really helped them on doing this, so I'm actually really glad about that. So with that in mind, we had some pretty big and interesting news this week. After a few rumors from Yakuza 3 Remastered not being in sale when the rest of the Yakuza games were a few weeks back, in this week's RGG Summit and Direct, they finally unveiled that indeed the heavily wanted for some and rumored Yakuza Kiwami 3 was going to be a thing and releasing next February of 2026. And then they showed us a trailer and introduced some of the features of the game. Now, being such an avid fan of Yakuza 3, I do have some comments, so that's what I wanted to address in this video. So they began showcasing a trailer which was actually dubbed in English. I guess now they are dubbing all of the games, which I guess for some people can be cool, but for me it will always be a series spoken in Japanese, and I personally do not care about the dub at all. Now, as I kept watching the trailer, there were some things that were a little bit weird. Like the very first scene, I didn't recognize who that character was. I thought maybe it was something near the beginning, but I just didn't know. And then it came to the realization that they are making some pretty big changes. For starters, while this one isn't incredibly big, they changed Kiryu's Okinawan shirt to some black one. I really have no idea why they did this. Oh, never mind, you're telling me they're selling it as DLC? Oh, so that explains it. It's kind of weird, honestly. I don't get what's the change behind that. But that's not even the superficial thing. They went ahead and recast 3 important characters from the story: Rikia, Petra Nakahara, and Hamasaki. And I don't really get it too much, but I don't like it. And a lot of the community has been pretty vocal. During the stream in the chat, most of it was not my Rikia, not my Nakahara, not my Hamasaki. So what I think happened here is that they seem to be having a philosophy as of late from RGG where most of the characters that they're adding, they're basing them on whoever actor brings them to life, and it tends to be a one-to-one recreation. So they recast these characters and change them. Now, I want to make something very clear that I am in no way trying to direct hate towards the actors that are bringing these characters to life. Like, please don't take it as that, and also don't do it. Like, of course they're just doing their job. They're just giving them their voices, but when they go ahead and even change the entire physique of the character just to resemble the new person, I think that's really weird. Specifically, Rikia is such a major character in the game, and I mean, if you spoilers, you haven't played it, but yeah, like, he's really important. And they're changing with this one that just kind of looks like a generic punk. It doesn't even evoke like that Okinawan native that he's intended to be. For Petra Nakahara, he just seems really weird to me. To be honest, I look at the new model and you know what I think? One of the random homeless guys that they often put in the series. That's what I think. I feel like he's supposed to have this mellow side to him, like, you know, he's technically a Yakuza boss, but he's also pretty much a grandpa or technically a father in the game. And I'm just not feeling it from the scenes shown in the new one. And then Hamasaki is also one of the main antagonists, and not just that, he also appears in the next game, in Yakuza 4. So anyone that plays Kiwami 3 when it releases and goes then into Yakuza 4, they're gonna be really confused when they do not even resemble at all. And well, it's not just the recasts of the characters, they actively said that they may go and change parts of the story, adding new stuff and just changing the tone of some scenes. And I am just worried that they may just completely change and affect what the original story was. I haven't played Yakuza 8, so I do not have any direct evidence of this, but I have a few friends that do not really like 8 specifically, and that the new writers led by Yokoyama, I guess the studio, it's been in a bit of a decline as of late. And I do lament the fact that Nagoshi is no longer in charge for some very stupid comment that he made. It honestly sucks so much, but the truth of the matter is that the series is now in the hands of somebody else, and apparently choices that they've made it go into a different direction from what it was originally going. Again, I haven't played 8, so I cannot really comment fully on this, but from what my friends tell me, it's mainly felt in there. I do know that in 8 there's a few characters that were like confirmed dead that are retconned. Like, again, I haven't played it, but I know a few spoilers, unfortunately. And like with the recent Yakuza 0 director's cut, where they just retconned the big man to like not actually die for some reason, so we call it the rubber explosion. It's kind of weird, and I feel like they're making some of these choices, and they will make some of the choices like just straight up retcon characters that were confirmed dead, and then they may return later, or just actually they survived and then they just retire. I don't know, it just seems really weird to me. Right now a lot of the community is just hoping that very close to release people are just going to mod these original characters back. Again, I don't mind if they change the voice actors, like, okay, that's fine if the recordings are old and they want to make some new ones and they couldn't actually get a hold of the older actor and they didn't want to work on it. That is completely fine, okay, I can get behind that. But the likeness of the characters just doesn't sit right with me. It's very different from when they made Kiwami 1 and 2, which I haven't played the original PS2 games, though I hope to do some one day. But the graphics on those games actually were pretty dated by the point that when they remade the Kiwamis. And I would understand when they changed characters in there, but this one, Yakuza 3 is really, I mean, it's 2009, let's say that it has some years already, but technologically wise, it looks pretty good for today's standards still. So having such a deliberate change on the characters really will feel very weird. As for the gameplay itself, they did show some of the combat, so it looks like it's, you know, an extension of the newer Dragon Engine ones after Gaiden, which Gaiden was really good. They're gonna have a dragon style like usual, but also they're adding a new Ryukian style, which does look really interesting. So they're taking like the Gaiden approach where you had 2 main movesets. Now the Ryukyu style seems to utilize a lot of traditional weapons, and this has me wondering whether or not we'll have equipable weapons in the game or not. It will be similar to Yakuza 6, where there aren't any. There's a few that you can pick up in the ground, but they're mainly just environmental ones. So I wonder if they'll do that. It's not shown if there's any weapons like there normally is in some of the other games, but I have the feeling that since the Ryukyu moveset is going to be implementing them, there may not be. Which again is a small gripe, not that terrible, but okay. Besides that, they are expanding on the orphanage stuff on the game. That's actually my favorite part of the game, the whole orphanage and Okinawa thing. It's why I love it so much. And they're expanding on it, like literally making a whole mode where just Kiryu enhances the bonds he has with the children in the orphanage. I think that's incredibly cool, and it's definitely what ultimately sold me on it, because honestly with those castings I was just, I mean, but that looks like too heartwarming not to check out. Now I have a little bit of worry that they will actually retcon some stuff in here. Like they showed this specific scene of Haruka calling Kiryu dad, and that like never happened, like never at all. She always called him Oji-san, which is uncle, never Oto-san, which would be dad. So a little bit weird. I hope they don't really retcon stuff in there, but if they do, maybe they'll continue to retcon and remake the other games, which is weird. I mean, again, they changing Hamasaki may actually hint of them making a Yakuza 4 Kiwami, which may or may not happen. And honestly, I'm just worried that they're just gonna affect more. I just don't want them to get to 5 and modify that story, because after 3, 5 is my favorite as well. So a little bit worried about that, to be honest. But well, the gameplay itself does look to be interesting and cool. Now this next point probably is going to affect a very small minority of people, but I am included on those, and I think that they are just going to completely ruin the completion or difficulty of the completion list. The thing is, in Yakuza 3 you had some very harsh minigame requirements for completion. I think it's the series' hardest minigames that they have, because for example for pool and darts, let's just take those as an example, you had to beat every opponent in every difficulty, and especially the expert ones were really difficult. So that's something that always resonated with me. Also why the Haruka requests things were hard, because even the Haruka requests requirements were harder than most of the completion list stuff. So I just feel like they're going to ruin it, because if you played the recent Dragon Engine games, you'd know that the requirements, for one, they become optional. They are not really required for completion anymore, and a lot of them are really easy, and instead of having harder stuff, what they have is dragged on and grindy things, like, oh, do this 30 times instead of hit a high score. So I think they're going to ruin that. I think it's almost a fact, just because it's a Dragon Engine and recent game. We have like nothing that really points us to that, but I think that's what's going to happen. A little bit unfortunate, and again, I think almost nobody is going to care about this as much as I and other people maybe that may be diehard completionists, but I think they're going to ruin that original essence that 3 had. Now the only other thing that they showed, which is pretty big, is that they're pretty much doing a Mine Gaiden additional mode. So it's called Dark Ties, and it's supposed to be a precursor to Mine's stand on the actual Yakuza 3 story, and his backstory will be able to play as him and see how he got into the Yakuza and how he had ties with Kanda as his farm brother, and with Daigo, his idol, pretty much. I think it looks pretty good on its own, to be honest. I just hope that they don't really retcon stuff. Like, it will happen in the past, so it probably won't affect 3 directly, but you know, they could also change some stuff of the character, which I worry. But for the most part, that actually looks really cool, and I'm really looking forward to that one as well. It's not just going to be like the Majima Saga, which is really short. It seems to be like it's actually like 7 Gaiden, so the man who erased his name. I don't know if as long. I mean, that game was like 60 hours for completion, so this one probably will be a little bit shorter, but they did show that there's side activities and all of that. There's not even like a Kanda mode or whatever, so yeah. Also, those are my thoughts for now. I mean, for the most part they're positive, but yeah, the model changes are a little bit jarring. I really don't like how they feel, and I don't even want to get used to them. I am honestly just refusing to play this game until there's mods to revert to the original models, because they don't feel like Yakuza 3. I hope that they don't really change much of the story and retcon stuff, because that's going to suck. But that's pretty much my stand on it. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. A little bit of a different video today. I haven't really done too many of these as of late. I don't remember if I've done any, but just wanted to voice my opinion because Yakuza 3 means so much to me and it's my favorite in the franchise. So having a reimagining on it, well, yeah, you know, I'm gonna have my thoughts. So we'll see how it turns out. I don't really think I'll be buying it day one. Again, probably waiting for the mods. And I will be busy starting April next year. I'm moving abroad, so we'll see how I can even get to playing that. But that's gonna be it for today. Well, I'm not 100% Yakuza channel. I definitely have a few videos and plan to do a few more in the future, so definitely check them out if you want. And that's gonna be it for now. Don't forget, you're always welcome in my town. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.